Aanchal, how
How are
are
you?
you?
How are you, Meher? Good, good, good. Good connecting with you again.
Yeah, same here. So, welcome to our live session, and it's a
Thank
pleasure
you. Thank
having
you
you
so much
here.
for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, so I was just going through all the comments. Guys, we were
Ignore
just
my
waiting for
friends. They're
people.
meant to be ignored.
Yeah. So, how are you? What's up? And what have you been doing in this lockdown? Like, what were you up
Uh,
to?
honestly, I don't want to sound insensitive or inconsiderate to the situation that is the pandemic, but
Yeah.
I've honestly had a great time. I made the most of all these 4, 5 available months that I did. I did everything that I ever intended on doing but didn't have the time to do. I read a
Yeah.
lot of books. I
Hmm.
didn't consume a lot of online content. I read a lot of books, all sorts of books. I fostered dogs. I love
Okay.
dogs, and I never had the time or the resources to take care of one. But now, since I was home perpetually, and I knew I was going to be home for a while, I fostered dogs, like three of them separately. So that was
Oh, that's
nice.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I caught up on all the sleep that I ever wanted to have. I went for my early morning runs and I ate all the food I could eat. I made all sorts of food for the first time. So I think the lockdown was great. It was just I think for me personally, it was quite the spiritual transition that I needed in my life, and the lockdown gave me that.
Amazing, amazing. So, to begin with, I've seen what I've noticed is that you're a multi-talented person. Okay, so you've been an analyst, you are an anchor, you've been doing some kind of acting as well. So, how did it all begin? Like, what was your journey? When was the, first time you thought, okay, now I need to switch my fields. So this is what I want to do.
Well, there's a long story and there's a short story. Which version do you want to go
Okay.
with? So the
Anyone, the more interesting one.
okay, so the longer story it starts from school. So
Okay.
I've been a national athlete and a swimmer. So sports was my life in school. At the same time, I was into dramatics, into a lot of, debates and declamations, theater, a lot of stuff was going on. At the same time, I was good in academics. But as kids, especially Indian kids, we were never told to follow our passion into profession. Like
Yes.
academics was one, and then everything else was separate. It's just supposed to go on the side. So when it came time to pick college, I honestly did not know where my passion truly was because my hands were
Okay.
in all places. So I chose the next safest bet that was engineering. I was like, okay, let's do that, like because why not?
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
And when I did enter an engineering college, I think probably within the first year of it, I realized this was not for me. As well as I did
Okay.
academically in college, I realized like within me, this is not what I see myself doing in the future. And I started hosting a lot of school shows in college. I hosted my
Okay.
university fest, and then the other departments wanted me to bring me on board as a host. So that started, and it was just like it just started from there. Again, I wasn't doing it in a professional capacity. I just did it something as I enjoyed doing.
Okay.
And as a result of which, I hosted a bunch of shows in Chandigarh. But again, I haven't yet considered that this could be a career choice because,
Okay.
again, who hosts for a living, right? People don't really relate
Yeah.
it with that, especially in a place like Chandigarh. If you tell them I want to host for a living, they'd be like, "What is that even a profession?" So
Yeah.
back then, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted, but I knew I wanted to be in the media side of things. But to be
Okay.
play a safer bet, I thought, let's finish my education, and maybe by then I'll have a very strong idea of what I want to do. So I did that. I finished engineering, and then I was placed with some four IT companies at that point, and KPMG was one of them. It was not an IT company, but since I'd
Hmm.
interned with KPMG, I was like, you know what? Let's join KPMG. Let's do my thing, and meanwhile, I'll figure if there's something else I want to do, like where I'm passionate. If I'm passionate about the media, I'll
Okay.
figure while I'm working with KPMG. Cut to 3 years
Okay.
down, no figuring out has happened. I have given myself to the corporate slavery, and but I knew from within how unhappy I was doing what I was doing. It's just something
Yeah.
that was not meant for me. So this is going to sound very cliche, very Bollywood, but I did just randomly quit my job one day, and
Okay.
within a few months, I moved to Bombay without having a plan or action in mind. I just moved. I was like, you know what, I have to move to Bombay and I'll figure it out. And that was 3.5 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's how it
that's
started. And once
amazing. Quite daring.
one, yeah, I think that was probably the hardest step I or anyone else who's done the same job ever had to do was to quit what you're doing at the moment, quit like a consistently well-paying job and with a big firm, and then just decide to pursue something. And you don't even have a plan to pursue it. It's not like I have my ABC jotted down, like what will I do once I move to Bombay? Who will I meet? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing was, I barely knew like two people in Bombay, like some friends from college, but that was it. So I think the day I moved to Bombay, I think just automatically fall into place once you are in the direction you want to pursue. Things just
Yeah.
fall into place,
It
yeah.
just happens.
It just happens. It just happens. I don't know how, like even today, if you want me to explain how those 3 years went and what I did to get what I did, like how I got the
Yeah.
work I got, I can't explain it. It just happened. It just fell into place.
How nice, amazing. So, were there any kind of challenges you faced during this? Like you must have had a lot of thoughts in your mind, or there are
Yeah.
major problems as well. So, was there anything you were facing that time, like any kind of a challenge or
Um,
something?
so I think the first and foremost, the biggest challenge was quitting the job. Not easy. And then
Okay.
I'm so glad I had a supportive mom. I was scared to tell my mom that I quit my job so much so that I told her a month after quitting. And she's like, when did you quit? I was like, a
Oh,
month ago. And she's like, why didn't you
yeah,
tell me sooner? I was like, I was so scared that you won't appreciate my career choices. And she's like, you know what, Anshul? I want what's the best for you, and you know it better than I do. So do whatever makes you
yes,
happy. I'm with you 100%. So that was good because I
yes,
know a lot of people might not have the support from their parents financially or otherwise. I think the
yeah.
second and the hardest most challenge to me was once I left Gurgaon, I had a project waiting for me in Bombay. I had signed a deal to do a project in Bombay. And so I thought
Okay.
I'd sit out in Chandigarh for like a month, spend time with mom before moving. That project
Yeah.
fell out. The guy disappeared on me, never showed up again, and stopped
Oh,
answering my calls. And I had a written signed contract. And now suddenly I think, oh, what do I do? I've left Gurgaon to move to Bombay, and now Bombay, I don't know, it's not happening. So I sat in Chandigarh for two,
yeah.
3 months, and I think that was probably my hardest. I hit rock bottom. Like I was anxious,
Oh,
I was going through a very hard time trying to understand now what am I going to do with my life? What's really going on? And
yeah.
so I think that for me was probably the hardest time I had to sail through. And then quickly remind myself, Anshul, why you did what you did. You knew this was going to happen. It's not easy for anybody,
Mm.
let's face it. But why is
Yes.
it that you did what you did and why are you here? So that's when one day I
Mm.
randomly woke up and I was, you know what, mom, I'm just going to move to Bombay. I'm going to book my tickets for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to move. Mom's like, then what? I think I'll figure. So that's it. But I think those 2, 3 months sitting in Chandigarh, trying to understand like you had something, now you don't have it anymore. How do you start from scratch? You've left everything behind. You moved to your mom's house. Now what? I think that was the hardest I went through. I adopted a rabbit at that point, I remember, just to keep myself
Yeah.
distracted. But yeah, so that was
Nice,
it.
nice, yeah, really nice. So, like in today's world, social media plays a very important role. So how did it help you, grow in your career? Like how did it help you?
So I think my first biggest introduction to social media happened when I'd won Miss India in Universe, Miss
Oh,
Diva. It's called Miss Diva now, from
okay.
Chandigarh. And
All
till
right.
then, for me, social media was something very basic. I just had to exist on it. I wasn't really using it as a platform for anything. But the minute that happened, my social media started exploding. I had my teachers start writing to me, my friends and acquaintances from back in the day. Everyone's writing to me, congratulating, wishing me the best. And that's when I realized it just exploded. People were voting for me. I didn't even have to ask for it. It just became so big, and that's when I realized the power social media holds. You can literally make
Yeah,
or break with social media alone. That's it. So even
yeah,
today, I have gotten a lot of my gigs primarily just through social media. People have seen my profile, seen my work, seen my gigs, saw my pictures, seen my videos, and they just message me
yeah,
saying, Anshul, we like what you're doing. We want you on board for XYZ gig. So that has happened. Even now, though I feel I'm not using my social media to the best of my advantage, I know I can do so much better. I think what social media has there's no limit to the kind of advantage you can gain from the tool that is social media. So this is still a work in
yes,
progress to me, but I think it's just such a great tool, so especially for people like us who are in the media, and for right now, especially during the pandemic, this is the only way for
yes,
us to keep connected with people and the audience. And it's not like a
yes,
corporate job. It's not like you have to show up in a cubicle every day and do your job. Right now, sitting here, I can't tell people what I do or how I do it. So social media is
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that does help me keep connected to the outside world. You guys contacted me
obviously.
through the social media, so it's just, I think
Yeah.
it's just how you use it. It's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, any person in the public, domain, so
yeah,
they get a lot of bouquets and, brickbats, like, a lot of negative
yeah.
comments. And so how do you deal with that? Like, how do you, like, do you take it gracefully, or do you just ignore it, or do
Sorry,
you
I'm going
take
to
it,
take a moment
what's
and
it?
say hi and thank you to all my friends who joined.
Sure, sure.
Uh, Everyone, like my mom, all my friends, everyone. Sorry, I haven't been able to reply to you guys, but thank you so much for joining. But yeah, sorry. So you were saying
No, no,
bouquets
no, it's
and
okay. Absolutely
bashing.
fine. Yeah. So I just wanted to know, like, a lot of people in the public domain, they
Right.
get a lot of bouquets and, brickbats. So, what is the kind of, like, how do you handle it? Like, do you take it, in spirit, or you have, take it gracefully, or do you just ignore it? Like, all the negative comments.
So number one, I have been sort of fortunate that I've not faced a lot of slack on the social media yet. People have not been mean to me. People have not been nasty. There have been one, two odd times that I can think of, and I've just ignored it. But
Yeah.
see, as far as criticism is concerned, as long as it's constructive, I will hear it and I will register it because I'm my biggest critique, honestly speaking. I'm the hardest on myself when it comes to my work, period. And if people have something to say about my work, that is something that I've already acknowledged and taken care of. That is something I will pay heed to. I'll probably even
Yeah.
reply to that person saying, thank you for letting me know because I know you genuinely mean it. But as far as the
Yeah.
other comments go, the kind of criticism that has nothing to do with the work I do, probably something on the way I look, or whatever it is, as much as I've not seen a lot of it, I choose to ignore it and not give it my 2 cents. It's not something that I see worth my time. I don't
Yeah.
entertain it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just the
it's
kind of
better to
energy
just.
that I don't invite into like my conscious. It's just something I don't deal with. Like it's just
Yeah,
there.
yes, definitely. You should not actually. Definitely not.
Yeah.
It
So it's
really
not something that
demotivates
bothers
me.
me or
Like,
makes me uncomfortable because I don't know this person. I don't know who you are. So even if you have to say something about me, it's not something that makes a lot of difference. As long as it's
yeah,
not my work, I don't really take comments very seriously. So yeah.
yeah, that's there. Yes. So you've been a part of acting as well. Like, you've done a few TV ad films, and you've been in the theater in the past as well. So
Yeah.
how was that experience? Like, do you enjoy that as well, or are you planning to pursue it in the future as well?
Yes, Zarwan, मैंने secret पढ़ा है. And thank you, Satendra Uncle, for joining. Thank you so much. I love you too. So honestly speaking, I did a lot of theatre back in school and then in college. In Chandigarh, we performed at Tagore. And then corporate had just got done with altogether. Even when I moved to Bombay, even though anchoring has been primarily my focus of work, I have
Yes.
done a lot
Yeah.
of ads. I must have done around some 15, 20 ads since. And
Yeah.
I had not really thought of pursuing acting as a career till I did those ads. And my director who shot those ads told me, Anshul, you're a great actress. Why don't you pursue it forward? Like, why
Yeah.
not? And all my friends
Mm.
who saw my ads, all the people who saw my ads, they appreciated my ads for acting. I mean, who watches ads for acting? But the fact that the
Yeah.
people appreciated my ads for the way I acted and told me how natural I looked, how real it was, it made me wonder, why not? Why should I confine
Yeah.
myself within, the boundaries of being an anchor or a host or a presenter? Why not acting? So this was my
Yeah.
agenda technically over 2020 before the pandemic happened that I wanted to give acting a chance. I wanted to pick up an interesting character in a web series and test myself out as an actor. I'm really excited to still do that. That's open on the books.
Okay. Great.
So I
Great. So.
genuinely enjoy the process. I really like the process of what it, like takes you through becoming into a different character altogether, playing it on
Yeah.
screen and living that character for as long as you have to play it. I love it.
Yeah.
I actually love it.
It's
Yeah.
basically a fun thing. Like, is there a lot of pressure in that particular, thing? Like, you have to act, and you have to. Are you camera conscious like that? In the acting way.
So the most of the gigs that I've gotten, most of the acting jobs that I've done have come very naturally to me.
Okay.
They've all existed within a part of me that I just had to like pull out and put out there. But
Yeah.
it's not been stressful. Whatever work that I picked acting wise is something that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Nothing's made me uncomfortable or conscious. I have
Okay.
literally just been myself on screen. like just a different
Yeah.
variation or version of it. So no, I don't think there's been any pressure,
Any issue or
anything like that.
anything.
No, no, no. It's
Yeah,
just, it's
yeah.
been so much fun.
Yeah. So any favorite actor, yeah, if you could, just share it with our viewers, who's
Are
your
we
favorite actor?
talking Hollywood or Bollywood?
Both. You're free to both. I'm sure people would love to know both
Favorite
your
actors.
favorites.
It's been a while since I thought that through. Favorite actor. Obviously, dude, Hollywood has Tom Hanks, there's Morgan Freeman. There are
Yes.
these people who I would just watch movies for, even if I don't know what the movie is about. And
Hmm.
there's Will Smith, there's Leo,
Yes.
and um, who else do I like? So I think all these iconic actors, I really love their work. Uh,
From
Something
Hollywood.
like,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. And as
Yeah.
far as Bollywood is concerned, I am loving the actors that I'm watching web series of it. I think Arjun Mathur did a great job with Made in Heaven.
Yeah, yeah, he's
And
amazing.
so more than Bollywood, I am somehow now hooked to the TV series actors, like all the Netflix series and Amazon Prime Video series actors. I think they are doing a fab job, fab job. It's so real. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think otherwise
It's
Hrithik Roshan is
amazing.
hot. He's just too hot.
Yeah.
I don't look beyond it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, सब
Great.
बूढ़े
Yeah.
ही पसंद है क्या? I don't know what these guys are going on about. Anyway,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
would you like to give some advice to our viewers? Like, you see a lot of people, they're confused, like they're doing something right now and they're talented in something else and they want to, change their field. So, any kind of,
Right.
you know, anything you would like to share or motivate them, so that they can also follow the same thing, what they want to do and not be stuck in something else where they're not happy or satisfied. So,
I
anything you
think
would like to share?
this pandemic has been a lesson to all of us, like across continents, across the globe, all of this entire world, that nothing is permanent, right?
Yes.
We know nothing for certain. Nothing certain, like absolutely nothing. You don't even know that you exist tomorrow or not. It's as, yeah,
Yeah.
uncertain as that. So if at all it has taught everyone something is live in the moment, just be present
Yeah.
and do what you enjoy doing in the moment. Don't be miserable right now to maybe have a better future tomorrow. You don't even know you
Hmm.
have that tomorrow, right? So there's something that you want to do today, be it whatever. If you want to sing, you want to dance, you have a passion that you really want to pursue,
Hmm.
do it, because why not? We all
Yeah.
keep holding on to our passions or our dreams for a time later in the future, which we not even certain of that exists.
Yeah.
So I know as it's not easy. I've been through that. Switching careers, it's as cliche as it sounds, as much as you see it and happen in Bollywood, it's not easy, all said and done. Because practically everything of finances, this and that. You might come from families where you have to send money home. You could
Yeah.
be from any type of financial construct or social responsibility. It's not easy for everyone to do that, but you have to remind yourself that if you don't do it now, when will you do it? And it's never too late. I
Yes.
moved to Bombay much later in my life. I know girls and guys who move very early on, they're early 18, 19, and they start working on their career just from there. And
Yeah.
I don't think I regret moving later in life, because if at all it gave me experience. Working with corporate gave me a certain experience. It makes you street smart. You know how to read people.
Yeah.
You know how to get a work done. You know how to push through a crowd. So
Yes.
it's never too late, A. And B, why not? Just do it.
Yeah.
Just, I think this
Just
has
go
been
for
like
it.
the learning lesson. Just go for it. If at all this pandemic has taught us anything, is that nothing's certain. And there's something you want to
Yeah.
do, just get it done with.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
go for it. Like, just follow your heart.
Just do it. Because why not? And Pata, when you're specifically passionate about something and you're just genuinely good at it,
Yeah.
money, success, everything just comes away. This is not something that you have to plan or fabricate or put into place. It does happen. I know, again, this sounds like a cliche, things that get written in books and people say,
Yeah.
in speeches, but it is true. When you
Mm.
stop chasing money and you're just blindly following your passion, everything else comes its way. People just appreciate you because of your honesty, your intent, everything
Yeah.
shows. So,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I don't think there should be anything I'm afraid of. If at all people are fearful of financial backing, or like they think they need a certain financial setup before switching careers, do that. But work on that.
Mm.
Save that kind of money. eat outside less, watch less movies, save that kind of money. But if you're working towards your passion, do that. Do whatever is needed, but do it. You don't
Yeah.
want to be 60 and be like, oh, I should have done it when I was 30. So,
Yeah. No regrets. Yes.
do it at
Yeah. Yeah.
60 if you want, but just do it. Yeah, don't live with
Yeah.
regrets. That's just very consuming.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. I actually
Yeah.
feel the same. And any kind of advice you would like to give to somebody who wants to get into anchoring, who wants to become an anchor? So any specific kind of advice or anything you should be particular about or you should take care of, anything like that?
See, even though I got into anchoring just, it was not
Yeah.
a process. Like I didn't, uh, but I have been working on my diction, on my vocabulary, on my delivery since theater, since debates and declamations happen in school. So my training
Yeah.
has happened. So there are people who might need to go through that. They might not have that sort of experience. Join, vocal lessons if you need. Join voice modulation lessons if you need. Because as an anchor, sometimes mic is just not your only tool. You have to reach a vast audience. It could be 2, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in the audience. And how
Yes.
you talk, how you communicate, how you pause, and how your vocab is, how your pronunciations are, how your diction is, everything plays a very important role. And what
Yeah.
language you anchor in. If you're picking a language, be sure you're really confident with it and you're good at it. Don't anchor in a language you're not comfortable with just because you think you should. So
Yeah.
you need to work on all these nitty-gritties when you within yourself you're confident that okay, if I'm given a stage full of 1,000 people like in the audience, I will be
Yeah.
able to handle this because everything else comes later. The processes
Yeah.
come. You have to anchor and show to really understand how a show gets anchored. That is something no one will be able to teach you. But if
Yes.
someone really does want to pursue anchoring as a career and does not have a lot of background to it, I would suggest work on your voice modulation and you know join vocal courses if you need to train your voice or
Hmm.
whatever way. Do that. Do the work that you need to do to put in yourself. And then
Yeah.
honestly, then there's no course or something that you need to become an anchor, right? It's not an education that you need. I would
Yeah.
suggest just pick up a friend's birthday party if you want. Anchor
Hmm.
it. Do the kind of job you can do. Pick something small. Test your waters first. Like if this is the number of people, this is my audience, how will I do a show? Start small, but start.
Basically to connect with
Yeah.
them on a better level, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
every time you see an audience, like if I'm at a corporate gig, my audience is different. And even within a corporate gig, my audience could range from all age brackets. Could be 30 to 50 to 60. I did an event for, say, the cotton industry, and my average audience was 60. So then you
Okay.
have to find ways that you connect with the audience, no matter what it is or who it is. And say when you're
Yeah.
presenting on TV, say when I did a Star Sports Kabaddi, or I hosted a poker show for Infinity, Colors Infinity. Now I don't
Yes.
have an audience to talk to. So for a live anchor and TV anchor, this switches. If you become a TV anchor, then there's a whole different, game you have to deal with. You have an in-ear and your producers talking to you, telling you what to do. At the same time, you're still talking. You can't pause and listen
Yeah.
to your producer, right? You have to incorporate it within what you're saying or doing. That's a
Yes.
different ball game altogether. You're working on a green screen, you recording in front of a camera, there's no audience. But to keep that energy alive, to make it look like you're speaking to whoever's watching on their TVs, that is something
Yeah.
we also work on separately. So these are even within anchoring, there's so many small sectors, industries, and nitty-gritties that you work on. People who do weddings, that's a different kind
Yeah.
of anchoring altogether, right? You have to be entertaining, you need to carry that energy within you, you have to be enthusiastic, you need to have fun basically at a wedding to
Yeah.
make sure that people are also having fun. You can't do it just for the heck of it. You can't pretend to be having fun at a wedding. I've not
Yeah.
anchored weddings. I'm not sure if this is something I can do. I don't know.
Hmm.
But if at all it were to happen, I want to make sure that I'm enjoying a wedding if I want to anchor it.
Okay.
So, yeah, there is
Great,
no
yeah.
one way to go about it. I think just work on yourself as a personality. Because as an anchor, it's most important you're not playing a character. You're not imitating to be someone else. You're not, being someone else. You're just being yourself. So you have
Yourself.
to
Yes.
work on exactly who you are off stage and on stage.
Yeah.
So I think your
Very
personality, who you are, and what you reflect is really important. Yeah.
Very important, yes. Amazing. So it was great talking to you, Achal. And you're
Great
very fun
talking
to
to you,
talk
too,
to.
Maya.
Yeah, you have a very positive vibe.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you so
and
much. I
anything you would like to say to our viewers,
Yeah, I want to
wishes,
thank
anything.
BrandBurp for having me on board and taking this initiative of having these conversations and spreading out positive energy. I think it's great what you guys are doing, and please continue to do so. I think our viewers, audience wants to see the good out there and all the good that's possible out there. So thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me on board. I'm so glad I'm part of this process. This
Same here. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much. And please stay in touch and stay safe. Yeah.
definitely. You too,
Yeah.
take care, and let's connect
Thank
in the
you.
real world when this pandemic is close to being over.
Definitely. Sure. All
Definitely.
right.
Thank you to all my
See
friends
you.
who joined. I'm sorry I wasn't able to address you individually. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Zarvan. I hope you cried real tears. And thank you for everyone else who joined. Hope this
Somebody's asking for your
conversation made
autograph.
sense. Who did?
Digital. I think
I don't know,
Shah.
someone
Yeah.
did, I think. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. You can DM me. I don't know what I can do. I don't think. I will send you a picture of my signatures. But
All
I
right.
hope one person hearing this got influenced in some way. That would be a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank
and
you so
it
much
was great
for having
having
me.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
All right.
much. All right.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.